Well, this is it. What better way to spend the day than with a classic Hollywood epic? Not just any classic Hollywood epic, but one of my all-time favorites, George Stevens's Giant. Now, if you haven't seen this movie before, strap yourself in because we are about to go for a ride. But here are just a few thoughts that have been swirling around in my head since I watched it. The first thing I need to mention is the phenomenal cast, which includes some of the biggest stars of the 50s. Her character is one of those unforgettable ones that stays with you long after the movie is over. It does a fantastic job of capturing the essence of the source material while making it more cinematic. The story is one of those sweeping sagas that were popular in the 50s and 60s. He creates a world that is both realistic and epic in scope. This is one of the most beautiful movies ever made. From the sweeping vistas of the Texas plains to the intimate close-ups of the characters, every frame is a masterpiece. It was one of the first Hollywood films to deal with race relations in a serious and sensitive way. It is a cinematic masterpiece that transcends time and place. It is a must-watch for anyone who loves movies or cares about social issues or just wants to be entertained. So if you haven't seen it yet, I highly recommend it. It is a film that will stay with you long after you watch it. You will laugh, you will cry, you will cheer, you will gasp. You will experience the full range of human emotions when you watch this film. Thank you for joining me on this incredible journey. I hope you will enjoy it as much as I did. It also challenges gender roles and religious norms. However, it was also criticized by some for its portrayal of minorities and its depiction of violence. Nevertheless, it remains a landmark film for its time, and a powerful testament to the enduring strength of the human spirit. The color photography is stunning, the set design is authentic and immersive, and the costume design is elegant and stylish. I also need to mention the editing, which is seamless and precise. The film flows like a river, carrying you along its current. The pacing is perfect, the transitions are smooth, and the sound design is immersive. The film uses diegetic sound to create a sense of realism, and non-diegetic sound to enhance the emotional impact of the story. He uses long takes and deep focus to capture the vastness of the Texas landscape and the emotional range of his characters. He also knows how to build suspense and keep you on the edge of your seat. The climax of the film is one of the most harrowing scenes ever filmed. It follows the lives of two families in Texas over a period of 17 years. It deals with some serious issues like racism, sexism, and religious intolerance, but it does so in a way that is both entertaining and thought-provoking. It perfectly captures the mood and meaning of the story. It also uses leitmotifs to develop the themes and characters. For example, the main theme is a soaring melody that represents Bick's yearning for love and fulfillment. Another great thing about the score is its use of orchestration. Steiner uses a large orchestra to create a grand and sweeping sound that matches the epic scale of the story. He also uses brass and percussion to build tension and drama. The dialogue is sharp and witty, the characters are complex and flawed, and the plot keeps you guessing until the very end. If there is such a thing as being too good for your own good, then Inez is the embodiment of that phrase. There are other great supporting performances by the likes of Chill Wills, Sal Mineo, and Earl Holliman. The only weak link in the chain is Elizabeth's sister, played by the very lovely but very wooden Barbara Halley, and 60s, Rock Hudson, Elizabeth Taylor, James Dean, and they are all fantastic. We get to see some of their best work here, especially from Mr. Dean. They are one of the most dysfunctional couples I've ever seen on screen. They fight, they cheat on each other, they hurt each other, but they also love each other fiercely and passionately. Their story is a reminder that love is not always enough to save a marriage, but it is always enough to make it worth watching. The film also has some amazing supporting characters like Antoinette, Jordan Benedict, and J.J. Surtok. They add depth and humor to the story, and they also serve as foils to the main characters. For example, Antoinette is the voice of reason in a world of passion. J.J. Surtok is the symbol of tradition in a changing world. And Jordan Benedict is the embodiment of ambition and drive. Now, I know there's been a lot of talk about his persona overshadowing his talent, but I believe that he was at his most vulnerable and open here. And his chemistry with Miss Taylor is so tangible. You can feel the electricity between them whenever they're together on screen. So how do you properly review a film like Giant? I mean, where do you even begin? It's over 3 hours long, boasts an incredible cast, features some of the most beautiful cinematography ever put on film. She is not a shrinking violet. She is a force to be reckoned with. Rock Hudson gives the performance of his life as Bick Benedict, a man whose sense of pride and determination will be his downfall. He's a Texas rancher who thinks he can do no wrong. After all, he owns the largest ranch in Texas. He has money to burn. Why wouldn't he? He is also blinded by his own success and does not realize that he is losing the most important thing in his life, his family, and has one of the most iconic scores by one of America's greatest composers. In fact, the score was so important to the film that when it was released, the studio held a special premiere for music critics. Can you imagine? To be honest, I don't think I could do this film justice in 10 minutes. Speaking of Taylor, she is equally amazing, giving one of the most nuanced performances of her career as Leslie Linton Benedict. a spitfire of a woman who refuses to let anyone push her around. Another standout performance comes from Mercedes McCambridge as Aunt Inez. What a revelation this woman was and is. She completely steals every scene she is in. The next thing I need to praise is the screenplay, which was adapted by Ivan Wayaka-Faroma. Iduna Verubedesinobudu. My favorite aspect of the film is the way it portrays the relationship between Bick and Leslie. The direction by George Stevens is nothing short of masterful. Another thing I need to praise is the production design and cinematography. And then there is the score by the legendary Max Steiner. It is one of the greatest film scores ever composed. I also want to take a moment to appreciate the cultural significance of this film. Overall, Giant is one of the greatest films ever made.